County Board of Commissioners. And you can begin.
Resolution number 22-439, in the matter of approving electronic record of proceedings from regular meeting held May 26, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 22-439. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We have no public comment this morning. Resolution number 22-440, in the matter of approving purchase orders, then and now certificates and payments of warrants in batch number CMA PR 0601.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 22-440. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-441, in the matter of approving travel expense requests.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 22-441. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-442, in the matter of a new liquor license from Quick Groom Incorporated and forwarding to the Ohio Division of Liquor Control with no objections and no requests for a hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 22-442. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-443, in the matter of setting date, time, and place for the final hearing by the Commissioners for the proposed Radnor Township watershed number 2015-1 drainage improvement petition filed by McCappa LLC et al.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 22-443. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-444, in the matter of appointing members to the Tax Incentive Review Councils.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Vote.
Vote on motion 22-444. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-445, in the matter of approving a tower and lease agreement and memorandum of tower and lease agreement between the Delaware County Board of Commissioners and Selco Partners.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Good morning, Commissioners. Patrick Brandt, 911 Director for the county. This is an agreement that we did between the Commissioners and Verizon Wireless. The initial term is a 10-year term. This will be and then there's 4 5-year options for them to automatically extend for a 30-year total. It does have an annual increase on the annual payment. It was negotiated between ourselves and our vendor, Cellsite Capital, for Verizon to install their equipment on the tower site in Sunbury. This will be the second co-location we have on that tower site. We also have AT&T on that tower site, and they've been very good tenants as well over the years. I know the Verizon has reached out to the zoning department within the village or city of Sunbury, I should say, and I've reached out to the fire department. I have not heard anything back of any issues or concerns.
Any questions, comments? Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-445. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-446, in the matter of authorizing the submission of an application for Ohio First Responder Wellness, Recruitment, Retention, and Resilience Grant for the Emergency Communications Department.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Good morning, Commissioners. Patrick Brandt, 911 Director for the county. What we have before you is a grant that was approved by our fine 134th General Assembly, authorizing up to $70 million in funding and supporting of first responders. Very seldom do we see stuff that's available for 911, EMS, and our friends is mainly law enforcement. This one is open to us. There is no county match on it. It's all upfront funds that will be provided through the grant. However, we would be, if we did get awarded, we would pay out and then be reimbursed by the state. It's easier on us on accounting and everything else, but there is no match or anything within the grant. It's fully funded if being approved, and we like your approval.
And are you reasonably optimistic?
We're hoping so, because very seldom do you see one that covers 911 and such. So we didn't get the last set of grants we applied for, so good luck this time.
All right, vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-446. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Patrick.
Resolution number 22-447, in the matter of authorizing the submitting of an application for the Ohio First Responders Wellness Recruitment, Retention, and Resilience Grant for the Emergency Medical Services Department.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jeff Fischel, Director of EMS, Delaware County. The details and stipulations of the grant process is exactly the same as what Director Brandt just presented to you. The only difference between ours and theirs is we are also submitting for equipment as related to our wellness program here at Delaware County EMS.
Okay, questions? Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-447. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-448, in the matter of authorizing the use of a procurement card for the Emergency Medical Services Department.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Me again, Jeff Fischel, Director of EMS, Delaware County. This is the authorization of a procurement card for Assistant Chief Rachel Cox, Assistant Chief Jen Cochran, and Assistant Chief Eric Burgess. Both had, well, Eric still has one, procurement cards. This is just giving her access to purchasing items for our department.
Okay, vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-448. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution number 22-449, in the matter of approving a permit for the use of Delaware County facilities.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jane Hawes, Director of Communications. We have before you an application for the permit, the Delaware Area Chamber, which uses the meeting room at the Willis Building for their Leadership Delaware program. They have admirably already submitted their requests for September 8th, 2022 and February 9th, 2023. So we recommend your approval.
Okay. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-449. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution number 22-450, in the matter of approving a supplemental appropriation for the 2022 HSIP Guardrail Upgrade Project.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. Lee Bodnar with the Engineers Office. The resolution that you're contemplating records the receipt of $50,000 of additional funds from the ODOT Highway Safety Improvement Program, and the supplemental appropriation will allow us to expend those dollars.
Okay. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-450. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-451, in the matter of approving a pipeline relocation and reimbursement agreement between the Board of Commissioners and Columbia Gas of Ohio.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes, Commissioners, this gas line is located at Home Road and Sawmill Parkway at the intersection, and it needs to be relocated due to conflicts for the intersection improvements. The improvements will, to provide for the improvements, there is a 38% cost share that we'll be providing to the gas company for the relocation. So they're going to get it out of our way so that we can continue with those improvements on the intersection.
Okay. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-451. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-452, in the matter of approving a developer's agreement for Ethos Church.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes, Commissioners, this developer's agreement for the Ethos Church is located just south of I-90 near Sanctuary Drive in Orange Township. This is for roadway construction and improvement installation, and we would recommend your approval.
You said it was I-90?
Yeah.
Did I say I-90? I'm sorry, I-71. Oh, my gosh. I was just up north this
Yeah, I was
past
gonna say,
weekend, and that's what got me.
Cleveland on the brain.
I took 71 to 271 to 90, and that was still in my mind, so I apologize
I
for
thought I
that.
heard you. Well, we are south of I-90. It's
Yeah, a
true.
bit. Still correct.
I-90.
I did have another question. In item 2 and 4, it says 69,000, and item 2 it says 69,000, item 4 says 61,000. And same with item 5. Is it?
Let me take a look at that.
Items 2 and 3 say 69, and 4 and 5 say 61.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you're right. That's right.
I believe those are two separate payments.
Those are
that
two separate
due
payments.
At different times, one this year and then one the following year.
Okay,
And they do have different dates associated with them.
Different lanes, yes.
okay. All right,
Yeah.
just want to make sure.
All right. Thank you. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-452. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-453, in the matter of approving owner's agreement for Howard's Farm Section 2, Howard's Farm Section 3, and Berlin Farms.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Okay, Commissioners, the developer agreement for Howard Farms, that's located on Cheshire Road between South Old State and Pyatt Roads in Berlin Township. It totals 175 lots. Berlin Farm is located at Pyatt and Berlin Station Road, also in Berlin Township, and it totals 71 lots. This would be for roadway construction and improvement installation.
Okay. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-453. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Lee.
Resolution number 22-454, in the matter of approving the estimate, bid specifications, and setting bid opening date and time for the project known as the Delaware County Courthouse build-out and renovation.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Since we have previously approved the plans and at the meeting of the 7th, this will officially go out to bid. The bid opening date would be July 12th. The construction estimate is $631,000.
Okay, any questions? Vote, please.
Vote on motion 22-454. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Melvin has an update for us for the Bixby campus.
Yeah, I thought it'd be a good time to just give you guys a kind of a visual update of how construction is going out there. There we go.
All right.
So, again, just the project update, this is kind of through May. Just overall, just kind of going through an order of the packages. The site work has started. They're moving dirt around on the site, relocating the pond. And actually this week, Shelley and Sands is on site, starting work with the Bixby Parkway extension through that project. So they're also on site moving dirt as well. And just a heads up, we did run into an issue with some wet soils condition for where the new Sheriff Administration building. We're working on that. You're going to have a change order coming as we work through the remedy this problem. It's a moisture in the subsoil where they have to build up the base. I'll have some pictures here later on kind of further describe this issue we're dealing with out there. So again, just overall site work has started. You can see where they've drained the pond and started moving dirt around. That's where they are working on expanding the pond. Again, dealing with a lot of wet soils. Starting to dry up, but obviously April was very wet, so they actually been turning the dirt, drying it out, moving it around. So you can see that we're, again, pumping out where they're expanding the pond and stockpiling the topsoils out there on the site work. For we refer to as Building B, which was the existing career center. The pretty well complete with demo, 95%. They've started the mechanical rough-ins. Actually, this week they'll start installing new walls in there. Again, we're seeing crazy lead times and price escalations for materials showing up, a lot of the mechanicals. But we've encouraged, and the subcontractors, if they can get the materials, get it on site and we'll warehouse it. We're fortunate to have a lot of space out there to store stuff. And that way to help avoid price escalations that they're seeing and, get it here. So, kind of going through the building, they divide the building up into the 4 areas. They call it Area A, Area B, Area C, and Area D. Area A is where regional planning, building safety, sanitary engineers, soil and water, and OSU Extension will be going in that kind of west wing. You can see where they've completed the demo. They've cut out the floors where some existing walls were. They're actually, this week, they start filling those back in with concrete. They've cut the new openings. We had the slender windows. All those have been cut out and new openings are cut in. It's going to bring a lot more light. Kind of looking down the hallway there where the Commons area was, and also would be the entrance into OSU Extension. And then going into Area B from the main entrance, going in, this is where the engineer's office, their offices will be. There's all the demos done in there. See where they've opened up the walls, taken walls out, and they cut out foundation footers for some walls. A lot of it was where the lockers were. Then going through the back where the high bay areas are, this would be where the engineers, we call it the heavy-duty garage, where the heavy-duty trucks will be worked on. Then where the light-duty, the service center, and the light-duty trucks, and then one of the shops will be the welding. Not a lot of work going on in these areas, so that's where they're warehousing a lot of stuff. Then looking at the commons area, will be some conference rooms. That's the picture of the old auditorium. We're flattening it out, getting rid of the raised section, so it'll be one level and still dividable into multiple meeting rooms and meeting spaces. Then going back through that's a mechanical room in area C, kind of before and after where they're removing the old boilers. There'll be new high-efficiency boilers going in place. And then this will be actually where my office is going. They're in the facilities in the area D and our warehouse space. And then this will be on down in area D where the sheriff's property storage and evidence processing labs will go in. So just kind of show you all the work that's going on. And then over towards the greenhouse is where the sheriff's office simulator will go in, and also mat room and workout room. So again, moving on to the sheriff's office, building C. Right now it's just dirt. You can kind of see a little bit of the grade differential. They were able to build up the west section of the building. That's the pad where they built that up. You can kind of see the elevation change. It's on the west section is where they run into the wet soil conditions. Below where they need to start building up for the building pad. They've already cut in the retention pond there, kind of on the northeast corner of the building. And this is, again, the wet soils conditions. They did a proof roll where they bring in a loaded pan, and it shouldn't leave ruts in it, you can see the ruts in there to get the proper foundation. So working with Rob Rowley's been working with us and trying to find the best remediation for this and the best plan action. So it's still kind of ongoing, but it's starting to impact the schedule. They need to start the building foundations, so we're working on that to expedite as best we can. And just the truck storage building, again, it's just they're moving dirt and start undercutting that here soon. And the fuel station, big pile of dirt, kind of where that's going, and a lot of earthwork going on. So we've been working with the subcontractor on the final layout. We've made some modifications and trying to adjust the layout, save some money there, and get that moving forward. So that's just a quick update to where things are.
Now, the training area where the firemen train, has that been removed yet?
It's going to be. That's probably in the next couple of weeks, they'll get to that point.
The railroad cars, I remember, and...
Yep. We actually just completed, we had to do a asbestos survey. They found just minor couple items they need to abate. And there was a double wide out there, and they found just a little bit on one of the rail cars, so easy mitigation. And yeah, so that area will be cleared out here pretty soon.
To give John a little bit of extra credit too, the market right now is really crazy for materials, and John's had to jump right in and make decisions. We hear there's going to be a price increase on lighting fixtures.
Yep.
Or lead times on things, so he's been spending really an inordinate amount of time on the project. So you're doing a great job managing the situation as best we
Yep.
can.
We are going to have probably 2 change orders next week for approval. Again, dealing with the soil mediation. Again, we're going to have, again, to keep things moving, it's going to be a not to exceed as working with Rob. We have some other ideas just came up yesterday, even trying to help reduce the cost and find a better solution there. The other big area we've ran into, kind of existing condition, is the electrical. In the existing building, obviously they went off as-built plans they had and also how the stuff was labeled. When the electrician got in there, opened stuff up, started demo, things weren't as they were labeled, things weren't there. So they've done a lot of work with electrical engineer to kind of straighten that all out.
We had an issue back in end of March, April, where they were looking at electrical switchgear. At that time was a 60-week lead time. We told them, go ahead, get our order in, and even, I heard from a couple sources last week, that is now a 1.5 year lead time, 80
Oh, my
weeks.
gosh, yeah.
So we're in the line for the 60-week. But we're still, as we work through these electrical issues, kind of sort out what was the actual existing condition. So,
Things like that could affect our move-in date.
yes, and that's
So-
why we're trying to keep things
Yeah.
moving as quickly as we can.
Wow.
They have some, we're pushing some of the intermediate milestone dates, but the overall completion date is still set. They're still confident on meeting that. But yeah, that's why we've kind of given some directions just on that
Sure.
to.
And restate that date for us. What is the date?
Final completion date, we're looking at, final completion was August of 2023.
Okay. I wanted that on the record.
Yeah.
Yeah, figured.
You guys-
No, I mean, moving ahead on this as you're doing is just great because the prices aren't going to be going down
no.
and
And We're addressing some of the
availability.
things, a couple of big items as change orders, but we still have the construction manager's contingency, and we still have some allowance monies that we don't want to spend on these items, so there's still a chance to bring some money back from even with these couple, the significant change orders. So, but we're doing the best we can to make them as easy as and painless as we can.
Well, and in looking at the building and I mean, it's huge and we're very fortunate that we're not building something from the ground up and that we have this DAC.
We have a little bit of
building.
ground up, and actually, steel's actually calmed down. Steel's not an issue.
Wow.
I think the bigger issue we're gonna have is fuel prices.
Is what now?
Fuel prices.
Oh.
All the
fuel.
site work is, all these equipment are running on diesel, and that is a record high. I was actually looking at fuel prices this morning for a service center, and they're just record highs. I have records going back to 1996 on fuel orders, and yeah.
Well, we can blame the administration for that. I have to say that. It's ridiculous where we're at.
And and talking to we had an issue, I was talking to our supplier this morning because of some pricing, just verifying. They're having a hard time getting fuel. He's having to go to different terminals to get fuels. They weren't able to deliver full loads that we ordered this week, had to split it up because of availability of fuel, let alone price.
Yeah.
John, thank you for the update.
Boy, yes.
The buildings that we're leaving, what are our plans to address those once this building's completed and all the organization vacate those buildings?
I am encouraging everybody to start cleaning out now and start purging what you're not going to move. So we're still have our eyes on that, but I haven't focused on that other than aware of that situation. I'm not sure what our current situation with our contract with Channing Street is. I know we'll have very little time to get out of that building. So again, encourage everybody to get rid of stuff now. Don't wait until move date.
We do anticipate probably demolishing the existing vehicle maintenance garage, correct?
Yeah, yep.
That's one of 23.
Service center
Yes.
on 23, yep. And then our
And
building.
those gas pumps will go away?
Yes, we definitely need to mediate the fuel tanks and gas pumps and get rid of the underground tanks, remove that liability. When we get rid of Channing Street and Service Center underground fuel tanks, all our tanks will be above ground, so we won't have that liability of underground fuel tanks.
And the status of the building right here, it coming down?
I am having troubles with our engineer, getting the plans from him. He had, working with a structural engineer as far as the plan to shore up the garage that stays, been the hangup. Engineers, have just been in trouble they've been swamped, in trouble getting some of these smaller projects out of them. So we had these asbestos survey done last week, so should get that back any day now, so in preparation to move forward with that.
Okay, thank you, John, very much, and for all your very hard work on this.
You're
and
welcome.
What you run into every day, multiple times a day, these roadblocks.
Yep.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm very satisfied with Gilbane's work on this project
Okay.
too as well. I think we got a good partner there. So
Good.
they're doing their best to control and work with their subs and, look at different options and find our best. And I'm to the point where it's not necessarily cost increases with the price, it's a matter of lead times. If we maybe spend a little bit more to get something here, if we can get it here in half the time. And also pushing back to architect is like, handrail, they had selected a special color, a custom color, a Sherwin-Williams color for handrails, which added 14 weeks to an already 16-week lead time, so it's like, no, standard color, we don't need anything custom, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Thank you, John. Oh, geez.
All right, moving
Okay.
on to item number 19, resolution number 22-455. Public hearing for consideration of the application to add certain parcels of real property to the Concord Coyote Community Authority District and to amend the petition for establishment of the Concord Coyote Community Authority as a new community authority under Chapter 349 of the Ohio Revised Code.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 22-455. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 22-456, in the matter of approving for a specific occurrence a suspension of Rule 3 speaker registration, Rule 4 limitations, and Rule 7 public comment procedure from the rules governing public comment before the Board of County Commissioners of Delaware County, Ohio.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 22-456. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Okay.
We have no one in attendance from Bricker and Eckler, so if you're ready to close it, if you have any questions.
Okay. Any questions?
No, didn't have it.
Okay.
I have none.
Then I think we can close the hearing.
Resolution number 22-457, in the matter of closing the public hearing for consideration of the application to add certain parcels of real property to the Concord Coyote Community Authority District and to amend the petition for establishment of the Concord Coyote Community Authority as a new community authority under Chapter 349 of the Ohio Revised Code.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 22-457. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
I have no objections to adding these parcels. I would ask the clerk to read the resolution to approve adding these parcels.
Resolution number 22-458, resolution approving the application to add certain parcels of real property to the Concord Coyote Community Authority District and to amend the petition for establishment of the Concord Coyote Community Authority as a new community authority under the Chapter 349 of the Ohio Revised Code.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 22-458. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
That brings us to administrator reports.
Good morning, Commissioners. The only thing I wanted to bring up is that I attended DCFA last night. We had a committee meeting, a planning committee meeting, and we talked about strategic planning, moving forward and potentially looking at starting that process. And then we also had our regular DCFA meeting, and it went well. Nothing major to note. Thank you.
I have nothing to report. Thank you.
Commissioner Merrill.
I have two things. First of all, I attended the Chamber's open house that they had at Delaware Transit this morning. There was about, I'm going to say, 20 people there. Harry Camdar spoke, very enthusiastic about the role he will play and the things that he has vision for, and so I did an excellent job. And so I think we all are looking forward to the progress on that. And the other thing is kind of a personal story. You may recall, and I think sometimes these are important, you may recall in a community enhancement meeting last week, I said that I was going to get out to see this covered bridge. So Friday, to fulfill that responsibility, I got in the car with my wife, and we headed out on 521. We got 2 miles north. My car overheated, and there's no place to pull over. The ditches on both sides. So, but the reason I bring that up is I was about halfway off. I had at least half a dozen. It took about an hour and a half to get to the tow truck, and I was theoretically priority with AAA. So because of the location, but the number of people that stopped to ask if we need anything, I don't know if it's unique because it's the farm community area or just Delaware County as a whole, or a little bit of both. The first person was a young person, 17, 18 years old, and next was a young couple, someone who lived down the street on the farm on the left side, whose name I don't recall, and I regret that, and at least 2 or 3 other cars. So the point of all that is we live in a special county with a lot of really good people that will go the extra mile, and obviously, there's nothing they could do, but the fact they stopped and offered was very much appreciated. And I fulfilled that responsibility because Monday, my wife and I got a car and went and saw the covered bridge. So, but I thought that story was worth sharing. That's all I
I
had.
didn't see
I'm sorry?
carved initials in the.
I didn't look for your initials or anything, but I did walk the covered bridge and saw a number of
It's a neat.
literary artists who
You've
done
probably
it.
been there and painted it over.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, so overall, you had a fun experience when your car broke down.
I was reminded of how fortunate a county this is and how fortunate we are to live in this
Yeah.
county.
No, actually,
It was never a fun experience when you have to park your car and wait for a tow truck.
well, I could just reinforce that as well. We went to the arts festival, and my wife left her little purse at one of the exhibitors when she bought something, and didn't realize it until we got home. And I said, no. I said, but thankfully this is Delaware, and I have confidence that it'll be turned in. And sure enough, it was turned into the police department. We picked it up the next day.
Yep.
So
Oh,
again,
gee.
same thing. I had confidence
Yeah.
that Delaware
Right.
County would do the right thing, and it did.
Right.
So,
Right.
anyway, couple other things, Morpsey Executive Committees today. State capital budget came out. I don't know if everybody's seen it or not,
Yeah.
but I did copy it off. It has been approved by the House and the Senate. I don't think the governor signed it yet, but I don't think there'll be any changes to it at this point. Delaware County did get $3.4 million of projects submitted that presumably will be approved. $1.4 million of that is for a project at the zoo, but the other 9 projects or so are scattered around the county, and there's some good ones in there. You know, unfortunately, all the projects that were submitted couldn't be approved. There's always that does happen. But the Strand got some good funding, the barn at Stratford got some good funding, some of the others, Arts Castle, et
Arts
cetera.
Castle, yeah.
So good to see.
It's a good list, yeah.
This year, the total was $191 million in the capital projects by county, community projects portion of the state capital budget. So we got about $3.4 million. So again, good to see some really good organizations get some good funding to help with their plans.
And some of our tax dollars returned.
Yeah, exactly, and very gratifying to see some tax dollars that we send to Columbus return to help the county's organizations. The memorial tournament has started, and I just looked up the
That's
leaderboard just so everybody would
I
know.
think they started in the front and the back, weren't they, today?
Oh, yeah, they always do that because it's a big field. Cameron Young is leading at 4 under through 11 holes. So, anyway, I knew everybody'd be waiting on bated breath to see
That's right.
what the current status was. But, 61 holes to go.
Oh, my
That's all I got.
goodness. Who do you think's gonna win?
Oh, gosh. You never know. John Rahm would probably be my favorite. He was the one that played 3 rounds, was leading by 3 strokes last year. And as he walked off the 18th green, he got told, "You tested positive for COVID, so you have to withdraw." He was
Oh,
leading by
that's
6
right.
strokes after 3 rounds.
Oh,
and he had to
gosh,
withdraw.
that's right. Oh, gosh. Well, we'll all be watching.
I'm sure everybody will. Sarah, you got DVR set?
Every day.
Okay.
All right. I attended regional planning last Thursday night. There was a quorum, which was good. Tyler was there too.
Representing me.
And representing Commissioner Merrill. And then was at a beautiful Memorial Day ceremony at Oak Grove Cemetery, and very nicely done, sponsored by Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 1095. And it was both Sheriff Martin spoke, and then Judge Hemanowski gave the Gettysburg Address. And the judge put the whole Gettysburg Address in context. Actually, I guess Abraham Lincoln was quite ill was feeling terrible, and, you know, when he got back on the train to go back to DC, he had a fever then. So, you know, you just forget, and of course, all the troops lost at Gettysburg so anyway, but the sky was totally blue without a cloud, and then the Oak Grove is a beautiful cemetery. I've seen the front of it, but not the back of it, off Liberty Road, and it was just a fitting day for a beautiful ceremony to remember those who gave their all. All gave some gave all, was on the front of the brochure.
Harold does a really nice job leading that.
Yes, yeah.
EMC, but again, great, I've been a number of times, great ceremony.
Yes, it really
And
is.
it's well attended.
Well attended, that's right. And we have need for executive.
We do. Resolution number 22-459, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, compensation of a public employee or public official for pending or imminent litigation.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion vote.
Vote on motion 22-459. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye. We are now